Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are here today to make this fun little box. You're going to be so surprised what is inside. For the last couple years, when we were able to swap, when the pandemic kind of, we were feeling a little safer to swap, I decided that my goodies for swaps are going to be some type of sanitation product, hand sanitizer, wipes. I got these little Perel singles. So it's all been kind of fun stuff. So this video is actually for two different things. This is to show you what I did for my current swap that I'm in. And also, Susie Barnes on Why Not Stamp Everything asked, hey, does anyone have any packaging ideas? Just show us a box, what you got. And so this is what I came up with. Guess what is inside of these boxes, guys? Ta-da! It is Clorox To Go packs. Now, those of you who know me know that I'm very germophobic. I'm the cleanest stamper. I do not get ink or anything, glue, nothing on my hands because I just don't like it. I've always been germophobic, and so before the pandemic, I already had a ton of these. And during the pandemic, it was really hard to get them, but now they're all back. So these ones came from Dollar Tree. When I bought them, they were 2 for $1. Now they're $1.25. Still very inexpensive for this. You can get them in the Walmart travel section, but they're usually completely gone from Walmart travel, but Dollar Tree had them, so it worked out. So I wanted to gift that, and I came up with this sweet little box, my measurements, to gift them. So I had to do 4. So I'm going to show you everything I used here, and then I'll show you the tutorial, okay? And P.S. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator now, so it's going to be Stampin' Up! Heavy, of course. I used Highland Heather for the base. I used Sweet Talk collection, which is super fun. I did show you guys the Sweet Talk collection on previous videos. I used this Celebration Set in Your Words. I use this right here. Hope you're having a fantabulastic day. That's fabulous and fantastic all in one. Celebration is if you order $50 worth of products, you get to pick free stamp sets. So this is one of the free ones I got. I used these Stitch Shapes framelits, which are no longer available. But I am waiting for the Stitch Rectangles. I will put the product number for the Stitch Rectangles in the description box, excuse me. What else did I use? I used some Dimensionals, which are these things, Pop Dots. I used Real Red ink. And I used the Stamparatus, guys. Look how... So I started off stamping cards in Stampin' Up! Back in 2008. I loved it, and then I hated it, not gonna lie. And I switched to different paper crafting, but now I'm back to stamping. Now I'm back to loving it. So, it's just how your styles change and you go back to, what you started with. Hey, look at me, I lined them up. The small things. Anyway, so the Stamparatus, look, I stamped them perfectly on the smaller oval. I just put it in the Stamparatus and flipped it. Now, I have a generic my Stamparatus is actually on order right now. I have a generic one, but it's the same concept. You put it in there like so, boom, stamp it down. It is perfect every single time. Love it. Okay. Let me see what else I used. I don't know. Scoreboard, normal stuff, cutting paper. Or cutting paper trimmer. All right, let's get this party started. So you're going to need a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 9. So let's go ahead and cut that. I don't know where my paper trimmer went. Yeah, I don't know why my paper trimmer was across the room, but it was. Okay, so we already have our 8.5. Now just move it over to the 9. Put the long side in there. Cut it at 9. You're good to go. All right. Now we need our scoreboard, and I'm sorry if my camera goes blurry because it does not like the scoreboard at all. So I'm sorry. Alright, so let's do the short side first because that's super easy. So put the 8.5 side on the top, okay, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch and 7.5 and 8. Okay, so 1/2, 1, 7.5, 8. I'm not a paper flip arounder, where some people do 1/2 and 1 and then they'll pick it up and flip it and do 1/2 and 1. Either way, it's the same measurements, it don't matter. I prefer just to keep mine all and just do it all at one time, but do you. Alright, so now we're going to do the long side, which is the 9-inch side. So put the 9-inch side on the top. And we're going to do 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, and that's it. Okay. So 1/2, 1, 4 3/4, 5 1/4. Okay, that's it. Simples. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we need to do some cutting, okay? But first we need to varnish. So I flip my paper over and varnish that way. I know there's a rule with like bumpy side in or bumpy side out. I don't remember what is what. So I just flip my paper over and do whatever feels right, to be honest. And one more. As you can see, I pick it up, I fold it, I just, you know, as long as you varnish it, you're good to go. Alright, so we're going to return our paper back to where your 1/2 inch and your inch, let's see if we can get some more light, are to the left. You can't really see my score marks. Okay, I just went in with a pencil and made my score marks dark so you could see it. Okay. Alright, so with your double score marks to the left, we're going to do some cutting, okay? So what we need to do is cut this line here, and we need to remove this entire box, okay? We're going to do the same on the other side for those of you who want to move faster. I've lost all the okay, here we go. Paper snips. You can do this with your paper trimmer or paper snips. Alright, so we're just going to cut up to that second score line, and we're going to remove this little box right here. We're going to turn it around and do the same thing. We're going to cut all the way from the bottom to this second score line, and then we're going to completely cut off that first square. Okay, so just cut up, we're going to cut off, and that's it. Return it to your starting position where your score marks are to your left. I am a very visual person, and so when I'm watching videos, I watch where score lines are, so I know where the starting position was, and that way I know if I cut it correctly with the person, with, you know, whoever I'm following, or it just keeps it straight in my head, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut again. So what we need to do is cut up here, and remove the square. Okay, so cut, and cut. Now those of you who are advanced crafters, you make boxes, you already know what I'm about to do. It is just standard practice. You guys can go ahead and cut whatever you need to cut, you know, quickly. Okay, again, I flipped it around. We're going to cut up that score line, remove the square. we are good to go. Okay, flip it back around to starting position. Now, we don't need all of these flaps, okay? So what we're going to do is completely remove these two rectangles and these two rectangles. So the side that does not have the scoring, that's what you want to remove. We're going to cut along here and remove both of those, okay? Again, paper trimmer, paper snips, don't matter, scissors. Okay, so you show something look like that. We're going to flip it around, do the same thing here. We're going to cut this whole panel off like so. Okay, I'm a right-hander cutter, so I usually turn my paper to where I cut like this. However you cut your paper is fine. This is why I have that focal point, because people cut their papers differently. They turn it to cut it however it's comfortable for them. But if you always have a focal point to start at the side, you know you're cutting the right things. Because a lot of people, they flip their papers over, they turn it to the left, to the right, and then you get confused. So that's why I always have a starting point. Okay, that's my rant again. All right, so now we're almost done. Now these little boxes here, we don't need them. So what we're going to do is cut, and we're going to remove these. Okay, so cut these two little boxes right off. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and miter the corner, which just means cut the chunk. Just a little diagonal sliver. Okay, same thing with these top boxes. I'm going to cut here and remove those two, and I'm going to do the diagonal. Okay, actually I just did the diagonal and we'll cut it off like that, just a little bit prettier. All right, so that is pretty much all the cutting we need done. We're good to go. All right, so this is your preference. If you prefer to mat while it's flat, then you'll want to go ahead and mat before you do this part. Well, you can put your tape on first, or your wet glue. Well, if you're doing tape, you can do this first. Anyway, so all I did was fold on the second score line, and I'm going to put tape on our little flap here. Okay. So then it's just going to close up like this, and you're good. If you want to mat before you close it up, if it's easier for you, then I suggest you put your paper like this, where your score lines are to the right, and you're going to mat in this section right here. This is your matting section. So this is this right here. Okay. I don't have a preference whether I mat while it's open or closed, so I'm going to go ahead and close mine up. So you're just going to peel your tape. Again, you're folding on that second. So see here, I flipped it back over, fold on that second score line, remove the tape, and just line these pieces up. Varnish it in there, and pop it up. So you're done. Your flaps that tuck in, you have a choice of either just on the very first rectangle, snipping a little tiny bit off the sides, miter it, like so, and it's nice. Or you can take whatever paper rounder you have, and you can round the corners. Like so. And you're just going to fold it in and tuck it in. Now, I left these boxes, I didn't miter the corners or anything like this to show you. See how it kind of overhangs? That means I didn't cut enough of that score line off. So you can still see that marker. So all you're going to do is either miter your corner, which you just take a chunk diagonal, or you can just do it straight cut. So see how you can really see you can really see that blue line. I just didn't cut it out off the tabs. No big deal. Just cut it off now. There you go. Problem solved. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and mat my box. But I'm doing mine in the Highland Heather. So we're going to take, I chose to use this sheet out of the paper collection. And you're going to cut it down to, so the measurement of the box is 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. So you're just going to cut it down just a smidge, a bit less than that. So 3 3/4, I'm going to pull it over to the 5/8 mark. Y'all don't be mad at my paper trimmer. I know the paper is coming off. You're supposed to take it off. I didn't. It's a long story. It's a running joke between me and my husband. So he likes to peel all these off the second we get it, and I don't peel them off, and it irritates him, so I just leave it there. So the 6 1/2 is right here in the arm, and so what I do is I just bring it to right where it turns from the tan color to the white or gray or whatever color this is. That's my measurement. Okay. And you can flatten the box. That's all I did. I just flattened the box. Use your Tombow glue or whatever you have. I use other glue because I'm allergic to Tombow. But I know it's a great glue, so. And Stampin' Up! Sells it. So there you go. Okay. And just go ahead and line it up as best as you can. Lay it down. Smooth it out. Okay. Get your oval with your dimensionals. Peel all the backs off. When Paddington would sit, my dog, he would sit in the craft room. Some days he would have so many of these backings all over him because his fur was static clean. It was hilarious. Alright, line that up as best as you can in the center. Glue it down. I guess you could pop this up too if you wanted to, but I'm just going to glue it. Get it in the center as best as you can. Make sure that glue is spread out. Pop your box back up. Take your wipies and put them in. Done. Now you can go crazy. You can add whatever you want. I think it needs a little something, so I'm going to grab basic rhinestones, or rhinestone basic jewels, or whatever they're called. Yeah. Just going to add maybe this size. You can add a ribbon. I'm not really a ribbon person, so you won't see me use a lot of ribbons. Alright, so maybe 2. 2 looks great. Alright, that's my project, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.